Hello, everyone. This is Donna from the Schweinfurth Art Center. I'm the executive director here, and as many of you know, we also run Quilting by the Lake, our summer conference. And normally, we would be busy down in the basement packing up to move to Quilting by the Lake. Davana and I spend most of the month of July getting ready to move to Quilting by the Lake. Let's check in with Davana and see what she's doing today.
I'm not doing much.
Nice, very nice. Well, as you can see, Davana's working from home, and we have been working from home for the past 3 months at the Schweinfurth Art Center. And we're keenly aware of the fact that this week we would be really busy getting ready for QBL. And in spite of all the hard work, we are really going to miss everyone this year. It's a big hole in our schedule, and we know that it's a disappointment for a lot of our participants to not be with us this year as well. So Davana and I thought we would let you know what we've been up to for the last few months. Davana, why don't you fill people in on some of the things you've been working on?
Well, I have been working from home mostly. I'm really sad that we're not having QBL this year. I know it's a lot of work because normally this is Friday. Normally today I would be at OCC moving around a bunch of tables. Donna, you would be with the moving trucks on your way to OCC. And we would have just been through a million spreadsheets and packing lists and supply lists and housing charts, but that would have been just in the middle of the chaos. But this would have been my 5th year.
Yeah, it's actually the first time in 17 years for me that I haven't been packing up to go to QBL in July. So it's a big change.
It's kind of nuts to not be there. And I just got through talking with Carol Soderlin an hour or so ago about how, yes, we're artists, and yes, a certain amount of isolation doesn't hurt us much, and we do sort of, I thrive on a lot of studio time, which is I've been getting, but QBL is the one time we all get together and really share ideas and see new things and discover new processes, and it just sort of feeds your creative soul. So to not be there this year, it's pretty sad.
It is always fun to see the excitement when people start arriving. Everybody's so excited to be there and reuniting with old friends. But the good thing is a lot of people do stay in touch throughout the year, and social media makes that pretty easy. So we're happy to be able to stay in touch with people that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been in contact with a lot of the QBL people on the phone lately, and just really encouraged that everybody is still making work. It's been, I don't know if you can see behind me, I've been dyeing some stuff. So
yeah, tell us, for those of you who may not know Davana, she is a practicing artist, and she's recently caught the indigo bug. So tell us about what you've been working on.
Yeah, so, well, what's behind me right now is not indigo. Those were just some experiments, but I've been growing indigo. Indigo kind of meets 2 obsessions of mine, which are plants. You can see behind me here, I've got this tree. I have quite the plant collection. And I really got caught with shibori more than necessarily indigo, but then indigo became a way to tie in my 2 obsessions. So the process of stitching is, in my mind, like drawing. And I've really been thinking about the ways in which the thread can become the line. So I've been able to have a lot of time at home to execute these like really grand scale, complex shibori drawings is what I'm calling them. And within that is growing and harvesting my own indigo, which my indigo is about ready to harvest maybe in a couple weeks. And I have a couple vats going right now from last year's indigo. And the one piece here I'll show you that I'm pretty proud of. I just finished this guy.
Very nice.
This one's pretty complex, but what I was interested in was how to create almost like 3D looking shapes. And I guess the sun is shining behind it, so there we go. And how to use the line direction and how to create light and shadow. And this was a really good, I guess I think of everything as an experiment, but it is a finished work. And it builds off the one I made last year, which some of you guys saw, this one. So these are about 3 foot by 3 foot. So there's 2 more of those in the work. And using indigo and natural dyes, marigolds, goldenrod, coreopsis, different plants. And in the meantime, like in between these big works, I've been doing like these pillowcases and scarves as a way to experiment. So if you kind of look over my studio, you can see some of my experiments all around the whole place.
So, Davana, we've been talking about doing some programming in the next year or so, involving natural materials and sustainable resources. Do you want to say a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have some pretty cool plans for 2021, looking at natural dyes. We love synthetic dyes at the Schweinfurth, but natural dyes have become a real interest of mine as we begin to learn a little bit more about, you know, in one way, the notion of the fashion industry can be very polluting, especially in terms of dyeing. So I've been interested in educating people about the natural resources around them. In particular, upstate New York has a plethora of natural fiber and dye resources. And so part of it is growing indigo or even harvesting your own color and ways to make that color permanent, ways to collect and forage for your color. And what I've found is I've been researching it is, you know, I'm not from upstate New York, I'm from Louisiana, but I've gotten really connected to the environment here and the natural cycles and the natural plants and the things that are available, and even looking at like wool. And there's a lot of wool farmers, specifically around Auburn, that we've kind of gotten to know over the years. So we're looking to empower people with some skills on, like, you know, garment construction, making your own clothes, how to dye your own clothes, and then how to use the materials you have around you to create beautiful works of art or to create wearable garments that are then heirlooms, you know. And in some ways I've been like, I created this shirt, but this was from a thrift store. And it's just something as simple as finding things and altering them. You can really make some beautiful garments or beautiful items. And then I'm translating that into my larger practice. So it's been really cool to start looking at other people working in the area who's doing the same thing. And we're going to have some workshops and some classes related to sustainable fibers.
I think that's really important, and I think there's a lot of interest in that right now. Tell us a little bit about some of the online programming you've been working on and your COVID studio visits.
So yeah, I've had a really great time. It's been almost like not work to interview other artists and talk to them about what they're doing in their studios and what they're making at home. I've had the quarantine studio visit series. We did some family projects, and it's fun talking. We talked to Ann Clark, Terry Plater, Anna Warfield, Vin Diller, my old buddy John Michael Bird, who I grew up with, different artists all over the country. Joe Cunningham was one of them. And just recently, I interviewed Carol Soderlin, who's going to be released next week as part of our QBL programming that we're going to be doing for you guys. And it's really inspiring because artists always find a way. It's just something in our blood. We're problem solvers. And I find that artists, no matter how stressed out you are internally, like we just kind of put that into the work and end up generating really cool things, and we come to fascinating solutions. So I'm excited about next year because I think once this is all over and we're actually able to gather again, I think we really are going to see an explosion of creative practices and ideas. Because artists, we kind of thrive with a little friction, and it's been tense.
There have been some challenges for sure. So I want to have a chance to tell people what I've been working on.
Yeah, what have you been working on, Donna?
Well, I've been managing our construction project and fundraising for the last few months, and I'm happy to report that our big HVAC project is pretty much complete at this point. It's nearly a $600,000 project, and we're now enjoying the new air conditioning in our main gallery. We have new ceilings, new lighting in our smaller galleries and in our lobby and gift shop. But the biggest change for us is that we now have air conditioning and efficient heating on the second floor, where we have the Davis Family Gallery and we have our sewing studio. So it's incredibly exciting to finally be able to use that space on a year-round basis, even though we can't really bring anyone in just now, but we're looking forward to using it. And I've been, of course, spending a lot of time fundraising. I had thought I would be fundraising for our larger project, which we're still a year or two from starting. Instead, I'm working on fundraising just to get through the COVID crisis. And I have to say, a lot of people in our quilting community have really stepped up and helped us out. And I want to thank them and thank all the people who donated their QBL deposits to us this year. It all helps a great deal, and we really appreciate everyone's generosity. So thank you, everyone, for that. And we're now in the final stages of getting our gallery ready to actually reopen, and we're going to be reopening with our Made in New York exhibition on August 7th, I think. So we hope we'll be able to welcome you back, and we're certainly planning to go ahead with our Quilts Equals Art Equals Quilts exhibition. We're accepting entries for that, and we encourage people to apply, and hope we'll be able to see some of you either during Quilts Equals Art Equals Quilts or during some of our QBL workshops later this fall.
Yeah, and the deadline for QAQ, by the way, is August 1st. So get your entry in. If you're holding out, do it right away. And once again, you know, Donna mentioned the gratitude that we feel towards you guys. Our quilters, you guys have supported us so much through the years, and you're such a big part of the Schweinfurth. And while, you know, we're really sad that we're not gonna see you this year, but we believe that we're gonna be back to normal soon. And your support through all of this is really blowing my mind. I'm not surprised by it, but I'm definitely humbled by it and so appreciative. Thank you guys always for being our #1 fans. We really appreciate it.
Yep. And keep an eye on social media in the next week or so, because we're going to be doing some QBL related posts to mark the time when we would normally be together at QBL. So we'll be thinking of you all, and please stay in touch.
And in the meantime, I'm just gonna relax.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.